Hi, I'm Sam Cox, or Mr. Doodle. My creative talent is drawing. I was really inspired by cereal box art and all the packaging on sweets and crisps when I was younger, and that's really what drew me to them kind of visuals, those cartoons like the Monster Munch characters and the Cocoa Pops monkey. Doodling works for me because it's so accessible, and I love making art like every hour of the day, and you can doodle like on your phone. I have an app on my phone where I just draw when I'm walking around or on the train, and then I have sketchbooks that I can do, and then bigger murals. It translates into all these different surfaces, and I really want to just kind of create all the time, so doodling really allows me to do that. I think often like a black and white cluster of a lot of different things is what people think when they think of a doodle, but it's also whatever you jot down when you're on the phone and you're just trying to like talk to someone and you naturally start drawing on a notepad. It's what you do in the margin of your sketchbook at school and the exercise book. It's just kind of what you do when you're not fully focused on something and you're kind of just drawing in the background. A lot of my work, I call it doodling, but it's kind of not in some ways, because sometimes I'm really actually thinking about the content of it, but I want it to look like it's been free-formed by a kind of subconscious. But I think, yeah, doodling is just whatever kind of naturally comes to your brain and when you start just drawing without thinking too much. Yeah, in terms of how it looks visually, I don't think there's one category of how a doodle should look or could look. I've seen people who draw really kind of photorealistic stuff do little doodles, and they look completely different to mine, but I'd still say they were doodles. I developed my particular doodle style through just taking inspiration from video games when I was younger. I really loved the kind of 2D side-scroller games like Sonic the Hedgehog or Crash Bandicoot and stuff, and yeah, that really spoke out to me, and even now I look back on that and think, that, like, not everyone can see it, but that was a real inspiration for me. Just the way like all the eyes are drawn and the characters on the cover art, they're always like jumping out at your face. Those kind of like cartoonish characters is really where I got a lot of my inspiration from, and I tried to do some realistic stuff and other things that people tried to make me do, and just naturally it always grew back to this, and then I knew how I should draw, because it just that was the way that was coming naturally, and the more instinctive it felt, the more I could get behind it and feel confident with it, because if it felt a bit uninstinctive or not natural, then I knew it wasn't right for me, whereas this really feels quite connected to me. I'd realised that was exactly what I should be doing, and then I can really push it to another level. I keep them mostly black and white, maybe like 90 or 95% of the time. Sometimes I put in little bits of colour, but not too much at all really, because for me the exciting bit is drawing the lines and making the characters. The actual drawing and the actual doodling is the thing that really gets me excited. I feel like no questions need to be asked about why I use a certain colour. There's no real connotations that I'm carrying with the aesthetic, because it's just natural black and white. No one thinks about why it's black and white too much. And also it depends on what I'm using to do it. So if it's like a small sketchbook thing, I'll either use fine liners or these kind of like thin paint pens, but if it's a room, I'll use these thicker kind of markers, and if it's like an outside thing, often I'll use spray paint. So these like levels of thickness go up as I get bigger as well, so sometimes a spray painted wall might take longer than a really intricate kind of canvas or something like that. I always describe myself as obsessive compulsive doodler, like OCD. I always say it's like graffiti spaghetti, because it grows and entangles, merges out in that way, and I want to keep that kind of childish fun in my work. I don't want it to grow up too much. I like the things that I liked when I was younger still now. I mean, I don't play like video games and watch those cartoons now, but that's the kind of image that I like about my work, and until I kind of grow out of that, I don't think the work will change. Like, what inspires me in particular is kind of seeing people like Walt Disney and how they like grew out their brands and things like that, and Rolf Harris and Bob Ross and all those kind of people that just did a lot with their art. When I was younger, it was like my main thing and like what I love to do, but it wasn't what I did for like 15, 16 hours a day, whereas now that's that's just what I do every day. I mean, I don't really do anything else. It's kind of taken it over. I mean, it's that my work takes over spaces and rooms and things, but it's also literally like taken over my whole life, because it's just what I do. I mean, I didn't want to like do like a half attempt at kind of becoming an artist. I wanted to either go fully for it or not try at all. But people like MTV and New Look and JD Sports and Converse and great brands that I really enjoyed. But yeah, everyone I've worked with, it's been a pleasure to work with them. A lot of like clubs and different events, and it's been great. I've got no complaints about it really. It's been really fun. Yeah. So when I first started wearing these clothes, I drew on a shirt and trousers, and I went into it was at university at the time, and I was going to take a picture of myself next to this big mural I'd done, so I kind of blended in with it. And then I went round this wall that I'd drawn into my classroom, and loads of the students in my class were like, "Oh wow," like taking pictures of me and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. I've got to kind of keep with this, you know. I don't want to not wear this kind of suit now because of the attention that it's got. I want people in the actual real world to feel like that as well, and I want that to draw people into my work and help me get more work." So then I got a suit printed, because the one that I drew on just used to smudge off in the rain. I couldn't wash it. I had to replace it every kind of like few weeks because I couldn't wash it or anything like that. So, and it used to just go grey from where it smeared and stuff. So then I got this printed, and then I do other things with clothing brands where I license designs for them to print as shorts or shirts and sweaters and jumpers and things. You've got to kind of work out what you want to get from what you're doing. If you're not, then I think you have to kind of base your life around where you want to get and make everything start to kind of work in a way that fits your path. Don't start doing things that aren't really you just for other reasons. Try and base your life around what you want to do. Find out what it is you want to do, like experiment with a lot of different ways of making things, which kind of art speaks to you most, and find yourself in that, and then fully exaggerate that to the most you can, because I think you've got to be the most you that you can be, and really kind of shout like this is me, this is what I do, and then you become kind of distinct through doing that. I'm not that good at giving advice because I think everyone's so different in how they find their ways. You know, I think you just got to go with what feels instinctively right, I guess.
What does the future hold for Mr. Doodleman?
More doodling, really. Drawing on rooms and more doodle marathons, 50-hour doodle marathons and exhibitions, and just taking over spaces and meeting more people and doing bigger projects, painting buildings, hopefully eventually like a whole house of doodles, to doodle world to live in, maybe a town, that'd be awesome. Theme park, who knows? Yeah, I just want to I'll do anything, like as long as it fits into my brand. I'm excited to do more stuff.